So last year, we didn't do our normal shows like we usually do. We had to do recorded films. For example, for first semester, we did like a movie. It was Winter Break by Joe Clarko, and we didn't film it in the theater. We filmed it at different locations, and it was almost like a little amateur movie project. And second semester, we did our Showcase of the Arts, and that was filmed in the theater, but it still wasn't a full-length musical. There was no plot or anything. It was just very different because we usually do a show every year, and it was weird to not have that experience.
Last year, we were able to attend a football game, which was exciting, but we didn't do any competitions that we normally do, and obviously we weren't at all of the home games. There weren't very many, but we were only at one. And we didn't get a march or do anything that we normally do. We didn't really have a show. We just had to kind of stand on the field and play like pep tunes that you hear on the radio.
Yeah, COVID really threw a curveball for everything that Student Council does, because everything we do is about serving the community and gathering together in school unity. And we were still able to do Mr. EHS and carry on that tradition in a slightly altered format, but it still worked. And so a lot of things were still able to be done, but it really was a very different and very diminished year. So I'm excited that this year we seem to be heading back towards normal.
Find clear masks, because right now we're required to perform in masks, and so that might change by the time we get to our production, but if not, then we want to make sure we have something that'll still be engaging and interesting to the audience so they can see the facial expressions of the actors, since this is an expressive art form, and so that's a big part of it. And so trying to work around that is definitely very challenging and interesting.
This year, our biggest struggle with COVID is just adjusting to the changes last year, because we didn't get to teach the freshmen last year how to march, and so now we have half of the band doesn't know how to march at all.
Our biggest challenges are just making everything feel as normal as possible. We have everything rolling typically, but the masks are the only difference. The dance being on the football field, I know a lot of people love that idea, and a lot of people kind of don't even want to go to homecoming, but it's going to be the same, and I think even better. It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and if you don't want to go, I recommend you try it out, and if you don't like it, you don't like it. I definitely think that this year we have more participation, so there's more excitement. Last year it was kind of just like people were just coming and going. It was just very come and go with everyone. Nobody was really all into the projects last year, but this year everyone's all in all the time, and we're just really excited to finally be able to do a full-length show and just getting back to doing what we love to do.
So I'm cautiously optimistic about this year. I think it has a lot of potential. I'm hopeful that we'll be able to go back to doing a canned food drive that raises 25,000 plus cans for our school. I'm hopeful that we'll be at a place where we can have an in-person Mr. EHS with a packed auditorium, because that experience is just so fantastic, and it raises over $5,000 for charity in one night. And so I'm hopeful that all the things that we've loved about EHS can become EHS again, and we do the smart things, even if they're not always the fun things, to get back to that place where it can happen and become the school that we were pre-pandemic.